All right, well, I'll call the Center Township Board July 18th meeting to order. We have, I'll make a motion that we approve the past minutes,
No,
meeting minutes.
We're gonna do that next.
Huh?
At the next meeting.
You gonna waive?
They're not circulated. We didn't have them,
Oh,
so we're just gonna skip that line item.
Do we need to waive it until next?
Waive approval to the next meeting.
okay, so we'll go ahead and waive approval then of the past minutes until the next meeting, right? Okay. Our next item of business is the cemetery update.
So I sent out pictures to all of you guys today. Thank you for responding. Something that happened at Isaac Willett. Last meeting, we approved the fencing quote. I gave the approval for the company to go out and start the process and bid. He called his supplier and the product was 12 weeks out. So, and this was for a white vinyl picket fence. He called back and said, listen, I can't get you that, but I can get you the aluminum, the black aluminum, it looks like wrought iron. I can get you that and I can get that done in 2 weeks. And so he started that. I talked to Fred and he was going to do it for the same price. So it didn't change anything. And I went back and looked. We actually did not anywhere state white picket fence or anything in the motion. So the motion was for the company and the amount. And so we were good on that aspect of it. So
The fence looks nice.
I would say, I'm guessing that was more expensive.
it was. Yeah. So it's a small cemetery. I mean, but yes, he was able to get it done and get it in. So
It's a nice fence though.
Fence looks nice.
So that is done. The GPR is being completed now. I actually just left Mount Carmel Sugar Creek, and he was just finishing up. Out of both cemeteries, we found a little over 100 unmarked burials. So they're definitely out there. And I'll have little discs that I have in a closet. I'll get them all marked so the flags can be removed and they don't get lost. So that is cemetery update. We start moving on to the quotes. So everybody should have a legal pad. That is our budget ledger. So you'll actually be recognizing this when we go back into budget time. This is our daily, or this is monthly allocations that we've spent out. I have estimated in the front page, it will be the fourth column down under capital outlays. That is where the money that we're allocating out for the projects mentioned above or coming up, it will be coming out of. And so that is the money that we have to spend. So we can refer back to that as we have
So we
questions.
got 629,805.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So that would be out of the both categories. And from what we appropriated from the beginning of the year, and then the additional appropriations, and then also the encumbrances from the beginning of the year as well. That's what it all turned out to be.
Okay, so that's action.
The next page you have is a worksheet from the foundation repair quote.
Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah, before we go with any quotes, I just want to get on the record for the world to hear and see that this is a, now that you own a building that you are repairing, this is what's called a public works project now. And so we have to follow the statute on that. We moved from statute to statute, so. The good news on this is it used to be a little lesser amount, now it's moved up. It used to be any projects like from 50 to 150,000 fit in a nice neat little category. Now that's 50 to 300,000. So I think we should be okay on that. Depends on if it's under $50,000, you have to do certain things. If it's between 50 and 300, you have to do certain things. If it's over 300, we have to do bidding and all that baloney. So hopefully, we're not going to go above that. So basically, the project in between those 50 and 300 numbers is you invite three quotes, quotes from at least three persons known to deal in this class of work. The meeting to receive the quotes must be open to the public. They must be read aloud. This is the fun part right here. We could not require that they be submitted before the meeting. Obviously, the meeting started and I don't see anybody here to submit any additional ones. You are required to award to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. You certainly can reject all quotes if you so choose. Go to the definition of what I just told you, because
So it's the lowest responsible.
responsible and responsive. I will define those for you here in a moment. I went to a nice little seminar years ago and okay, factors to consider when you're talking about a responsive bid. Does the bidder quote conform in all material respects to the specifications? Does the bid comply specifically with the invitation to bid and the instructions to bidders? Does the bid comply with all applicable statutes, ordinances, resolutions, and rules? In terms of responsible, the ability and the capacity of the bidder to perform the work, integrity, character, and reputation of the bidder, and competence and experience. Those are the factors that you have to put into it. So it doesn't have to be the lowest. It has to be the lowest responsive and responsible. And like I said, we do have to read out loud the name,
Michaela's,
And we determine that, right,
are you, what's that?
whether it's responsible or.
Certainly you do, absolutely. Hang on a minute here, Thomas.
Refread every time.
As long as we don't go over 300,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and you know, the thing about that is this has to be considered because it's all being done at the same time. It has to be considered one project. So you can't start feeling things out now. If all you needed to do was a foundation repair right now, you could do it now. And then 6 months from now, we find out the roof's bad and we do the roof, that would be separate. But the fact that we're doing all this at once, yes, it does accumulate, Brett. So we can't go over 300 or we have to go into full bidding.
Okay, well, I totaled everything up and looked at.
I don't think we're going to get there. Yes, I hope we don't get there.
Totaled everything up we got so far, 236,905.
That's why I said I thought we were pretty good to go here. So
And so we got extra 63,000 left before we hit 3,000 or 300,000.
we need the name, the person submitting, and the amount. That's all we need to do. The name of the submitter and the amount, and of course, what it's for.
okay, yeah, we have
Presumed. So, Mr. Trustee,
Repair first.
unless anyone has questions of me, please proceed. Glad you did this. I'm glad you did a comparison like this because I was real concerned with the one that came in yesterday. I'm going, okay, which, am I going to have time to look at this and see what's what?
When you say the name, is it
It's
the
the name.
Just the
organization?
name of the company.
okay.
And the amount of the bid. And certainly, I think, you know, you're gonna want to look at these and break down numbers. It just needs to be said out loud.
So we have for the foundation repair work, we have Michaela's that came in at $158,421.75. We have Crossroads Foundation Repair totaling of $128,444.51. And Indiana Foundation Repair at $91,385.12. So I did a breakdown for you, kind of, and not every quote came back in those 5 categories. So it might have a little bit of flux on what they look like. Some items were more structure, more items, or less of this. Indiana Foundation, they really did not quote anything for the encapsulation, the, keeping the water besides just the perimeter drain. They, their comment was more the mold remediation will happen when we dry the space out and it'll happen on its own. Well, that's not really, I don't think, a very good solution for it. And so I don't think that they're a good qualifier for this. They did not have anybody in-house to do it. So that's why it's not quoted in there. And they didn't believe that encapsulation of the downstairs was our biggest issue. So Crossroads came through for a while. It was a good contender. They had a good variety of different things that they were planning on doing, encapsulation and having plans for what the downstairs could be used for as storage, which was very good use of that space. It's a large space. And we broke down, they were very big on their 6-inch I-beams. And so it had held more weight. After a little bit more looking into reviews and looking into the material that they use, that the 6-inch I-beams are actually recycled material that they use that with. And so other companies and other reviews actually had where their materials were rusting. And so it kind of led to a question of maybe we need to have another bidder in here for more follow-up. We called out Michaelis and they were big on that. They have in-house mold people that they go out and do the spraying, and then they ensure that the spraying is done. And so, and that the mold is gone, and then they will come back and follow back up. For the structure repair, it's very clear that we need support and lift. For some of the sloping of the floors in the base area in the garage, how there's no support beams left. Everything is rotted out from all the water. Michaelis, they're 4-inch I-beams. However, it's treated steel, and their thing is their warranty is on maintaining the waterproofing. And so I felt like they were very focused on ensuring that the entire space was encapsulated. And so we would be able to have long-term storage in there. I talked about the waterproofing. The only difference between the two of those, Crossroads and Michaelis, is that there was three sump pumps for the Crossroads, versus Michaelis had 2. These sump pumps will be piped out back instead of through the city sewer. So, to stay up with the compliance of local code. On Michaelis, the warranty extends for all of their products: the sump pump, the battery backup, the humidifying device. All of that is based off of if you maintain their yearly service. So I called in and said, what is your yearly service? It's $200 a year, and that covers everything. They come in there and they will flush all the pipes to make sure there's no clogs. They'll scope it, then they also make sure batteries are good, and that anything throughout the year, they'll come back and replace it at the church. For the encapsulation and dehumidification, the difference between Crossroads and Michaelis is completely all encompassing. So that means the floor, they put this matting on the ground. So then there will be kind of like plywood, but it's got little grooves in it. And then they put that vapor barrier down on top of that. And so all of it will not have the moisture that a lot of downtown buildings are facing as issues because of 40 pushing in water. Yeah, I'm sure you have similar types of water issues down there. Okay.
We have less now than what we did, but yeah, there was a time when, pouring.
So,
I also like their warranty also.
yeah. So, and that was one thing I talked to them about fairly extensively was what did that look like if I go and put metal cabinets down there and I puncture this, they said, nope, it's covered. And that was inside of their warranty, inside of their book, that, it covers any kinds of punctures. They told us, you put plywood down or put like a 2x4 down and then put your items on top of that, or put your shelving on top of that, then that way it doesn't puncture it. But if it does, they would come out and fix that. And then the crawl space barrier. So on the side of 17, basically everything from the conference room all the way back to the kitchenette is all crawl space. And so they wanted to encapsulate that, but also we needed to lift and support. And so that's where that cost is. So that is what has brought us up to that total cost. There are 3 lifts allowed. When we do lifts, it will most likely have caused some drywall and some issues. In the one of the offices towards the garage, there is in that structure quote, they're going to have to pull back the carpet and they're going to have all of the subflooring is completely rotted away. So they're going to put new subflooring down because of the amount of water issues and the amount of sag. So they'll put that back down, put the carpet back down and go from there. But all that, the amount of details that they went into it, and that was what they found and what they suggested.
Their vapor barriers more also, I like that too. So it looks
Thicker, yeah.
heavier vapor barrier.
For less.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and remember, Crossroads didn't break their costs down like that. So I did my very best to try to break it down. But, maybe their labor was, obviously the encapsulation, dehumidifying, maybe they had more in there than, so.
And then, so Crossroads required a deposit, but they did not.
That's correct. And I had a double confirmation for that. Michaelis is going to be able to start in 2 weeks. Crossroads will be able to start in a month. Indiana Foundation, those guys are very eager. I don't know if he was like, oh yeah, we start tomorrow. I don't think you can really start tomorrow, but I also added in the reviews from BBB, if that was any help for anybody.
Yeah, they have a good rating.
I don't think anybody on Yelp likes anybody, so.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, what's the scale there?
I think 5 is yeah.
Better Business Bureau is actually Crossroads is really low and better.
I was very surprised in that, but when I was reading some of the comments in there, it was starting to make sense, some of the things I was reading and hearing, so. Yeah.
So there.
My big thought is like, I think that if we do this right, we're here to do this. This is what will ensure that we have good quality, good product.
And also, even if they do find standing water, you didn't see any standing water.
No, there's standing water. There's a lot of standing water. There's puddles, I should say. We're in a dry season, so we're going to hope that there's no standing water by the time that they go back in there. But
even if they do, it's an additional 800 something.
Yeah, when I talked to him about the standing water, like he's saying like 6 inches of standing water in the entire basement.
Yeah,
Not just.
Although if you look at the damage, it looks like there was a good 4 feet of standing water at all times, but I don't think that's the case.
That was going to be my next question. Is there water down there currently?
There's a puddle. There's a very low spot somewhere, and so yeah.
I think out of all the 3 quotes, I kind of like this Michaelis. I think that gives us, even though it's not the least expensive one, I think it gives us more value for the amount of money that they're charging over the other 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of their reputational factor their ability and capacity to start working sooner. And I think in terms of more wholesome compliance with the overall bid request, I think they covered all of the factors that we were looking for in the bid at still not that much higher of a price than Crossroads. But at the same time, I do like that they're gonna do the 4 of the encapsulation, so that way it's not gonna be dealing with, or we can't use the space after we go through all of this to to get it back operational. I also do like that they have an in-house mold person. That was gonna automatically disqualify Indiana Foundation for this. That was not gonna fit.
Yeah, because they don't have any of that.
So, and then I also think in terms of the proper tenantship, having the annual maintenance option be available, I think is gonna help ensure that it maintains the level that we need it to be at over time.
Yeah, we don't have any trouble paying for that yearly cost. Do we?
You budgeted in, we'll get that.
Budget in.
Yep,
right?
yep. So
Okay.
these are all new things that will get line itemed onto our budget for next year when we all have our budget meetings.
Okay.
So the last thing I have on that is I do have a copy of their insurance liability. I also have copies of their mold certifications for all 3 individuals. So that was something that Crossroads could not provide. They could provide the insurance, but they did not have obviously anybody in that. So
Okay.
I do have that for the record.
Okay, so it sounds like both of us are agreed on the Michaela's. Do I need a motion that we accept Michaela's,
Motion to accept the quote.
Michaela's quote?
So moved.
I second it. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved. Michaela's is our tanker spreadsheet.
Very helpful.
That was really helpful.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that starts us at
So roofing.
158, 421, 75.
Right.
So onto roofing, we have 2 bids that came in. And I have a list, I should have brought that too. I have a list of companies that we have reached out to, and it's either, they weren't interested, they don't do flat roofs, they don't do, it's all residential. So, and we also had a lot of people come out, we have 2 other companies came out and they just never submitted a bid. So these are the 2 that did submit through. You have Bone Dry Commercial Roofing for a total of, this is the one I had to add up. I apologize. I don't think a total was there. You have it.
It's 3 here.
It comes up
Yes.
to, Bone Dry comes up to 70,549.27. So we should get,
I'm just gonna double check right now.
okay. Yeah, the main roof.
You said you got 75, 49, 27?
Yeah, 70,000.
That is my number too.
27.
Yep.
Okay. Good, my whole page.
All right, so that is Bone Dry and then Hometown Roofing and Exteriors for a total of $63,538.40. So these companies honestly are what they're offering is the exact same thing. It is the white, I believe it's TPO roof product. TPO membrane. So this is no longer the tar and paper, which is currently what's on the building. This Hometown is and Bone Dry rip off everything that's on there, replace any bad boards and then or decking, and then replace back with this white TPO. Both of them are coming back with a 20-year warranty on it. Yes, there is they'll come back out. Both Hometown and Bone Dry offer a 3-year after its installation that they come out and check their product, make sure that there's no flexing or anything like that. Because we're kind of cutting along, somebody else's roof line, all new flashing that's gonna go over somebody else's, pulpit wall. The little bit that's gonna be shown, from the street view, that is, like aluminum, flashing, that's gonna be all matched to exactly what's there. So that keeps everybody from the city happy. So these are, very two close bids. I can't tell anything apart. I will say Hometown is from New Pal. So keeping money here locally. Great set of guys. They all came out, and easy to work with. My suggestion is to go with the Hometown. Even they are the lowest bidder, but I really like the service that they had, and like I said, kept it local, which is I know something that you wanted.
When can they start working?
That's a great question. I was more,
Weather permitting 2 weeks.
I mean, they're a local company, so,
yeah,
and I like going.
It says weather permitting 2 weeks.
yeah, I would say that's probably accurate as well. I know that quote's probably been in our inbox for about 2 weeks now. So if anything happened, but they did say it was relatively quick. I know that the foundation is the longest thing that's going to take us going forward. Everybody's going to have a dumpster sitting there. So,
Say both of their warranties for 20 years.
yes.
The one difference that struck me, and I don't know if it makes any difference, but Bone Dry has a 6-inch gutter and the other one has an 8-inch gutter.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I think
Hometown has 8-inch.
that's what it says.
Yes.
It's all new 8-inch gutter system.
Yes.
And the bigger the gutter, the better.
Well, and I also have them, one thing that they updated into their quote was I'm having the downspouts pushed further to the alley. So that keeps the water that's coming from the roof away from
The
the foundation and closer.
which will help also with that.
Absolutely. I truly believe that's going to help a lot.
I think that'll help out with that. Their price was 63,538.40 38.40 as opposed to
70.
70 some thousand.
The only other thing I don't,
No.
Oh.
Yeah, 70 some thousand.
it looks like Bone Dry is using 60 mil membrane, and the other one says 45, 60, or 80. I don't know which one.
Okay.
Not that is that much of a big difference either way. I don't think. I can tell you the one that's on our building has been there for more than 20 years.
Is that white?
No.
No. Okay.
But it is the membrane style. It's not what you were talking about on the other.
The
what's on there
tar-
now.
Yeah, the tar and paper. Yeah, I went up there, actually I went up there with Bone Dry, to just get a good picture of what's going on up there. And, it was pretty bad. The amount of rips and tears in it and just how it's separating from the walls.
Different picture.
Yeah,
And the existing gutters are 8-inch currently, aren't they?
they are 8-inch. So that is 8 inches of commercial, guttering. I got schooled on, somebody I work with at the firehouse who is a gutter guy. And, so, yeah, he went on and on about gutters. So, that is exactly what we would need, because of the size of the length of the building, which is 90 feet. Also, I got schooled on, that you need to have at least an 8-inch gutter, to handle that kind of water.
Well, especially since we've already had issues with water spillover and collection around the building. Bigger ones.
And that's covered that garage area.
I'm so glad you asked. So yes, so we're not just talking about the main building, we are also talking about the garage and the vestibule in the back. So they are going to do that in 3 tier, whatever those things, the shingles. They're just going to put new shingles on that. They're going to rip off what's there and put new shingles on.
When they're sure, then, but if they find anything underneath, if they're gonna replace.
There's a little bit of built-in into this. So, but yes.
Do we know if, like, will we qualify for either of these two things to get the free gutter cleaned? Or we'll be doing any of these things?
A non-insurance job.
Okay.
So,
3% off total contract price if approved / funded via inspired funding. I'm guessing we won't be doing that.
No, we're gonna be selling cash.
Yep. So yeah, so I think again, this instance is the cheaper of the two options. It is also it's been my preference that I would like to keep things more local. I would prefer that we don't downgrade from an 8-inch to a 6-inch, given that we have the existing water challenges. So I think again, in terms of wholesomeness and compliance with the bid and the capacity to start, the ability to address what we need, I think that they are going to be the better of the two options. Hometown.
Yeah, I also agree we go with the hometown.
So I would move to accept the hometown quote.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. So carry. That's going to even reduce that. That's going to give us, because I took the highest of all the things, and with that was, that's going to give us extra.
In the spreadsheet that the ledger I gave you, that is those two bids. So that is the amount that I have listed.
All right.
Hometown and Michaelis.
Okay. Well, that's
5421.
so that takes care of the roof and the foundation. We got a quote for that. Next, we have a quote for the carpet cleaning.
Yep. So the next two quotes that you have in front of you is Coop's carpet cleaning in New Pal for a total of $636.68. And Indiana Carpet Care here in Greenfield for $450. I staffed this out to have them take a look at it. The staff report on this mainly was Coop's carpet cleaning took note into one of the areas that we have glued on carpet, which is in the back office area on 17 side. When they took note, they said, when you are carpet cleaning it, you can't use heat because it's going to reactivate the glue and make that come up and then it'll bubble. When we went back to Indiana Carpet Care to say, hey, what about heat? And they said, yeah, it'll re-glue after time and it'll be fine. So for me, it was a little bit of, I don't know the profession. I don't know if he's wrong or if it's going to cause issues. But anyway, those are the two bits I have.
I can tell you, someone who, when I moved into my new house, had to get all the carpet replaced. There was a gluing issue when they first came in, and it was a pain in the ruckus to deal with. So,
Okay.
So it is important making sure that it gets. Now, they're probably correct since we're doing this in the summer. It's not going to be as much of an issue. It tends to be more of a problem when it's colder outside because then the glue can't solidify quickly. So it'll probably be less of a problem currently, but it can cause problems. So
And one can
just a flag on carpet.
timeline on it.
They can get done. They could probably start in a week, but we will not do this until after the foundation is done. Yeah,
Okay.
the foundation and probably before moving.
Yeah, okay. I figure we go. Either one, I can go with the lowest price here. I mean, since we're looking at top of 300,000, we don't know if we're gonna run across extra when they get into all this. I'd say we go with the lower price of Indiana carpets. Here, what do you think? To go?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I think we just pay attention when they do that room and just keep an eye out for any issues. I would assume that they have done it enough that they know how to clean it in a way that's not going to cause the bubble. Again, we're also going to be doing it when it's not problematic outside. So I know it's what 200 $100.
Yeah, it's
$90.
less than $200 difference.
So I'm not really torn one way or the other. Because otherwise I think the services are gonna be exactly the same in terms of their cleaning carpet. So I also, do like that it would still be in Greenfield. If we could go with the local folks, so.
Right?
So
So,
I will move to accept the Indiana Carpet Care.
I second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Indiana carpets are new carpet people.
So the last bit I have for you guys is Kemper's Technology. This is our in-house IT company that we use. This is a different bid than what you were presented in the packet. This is a lesser of amount because of all the other things that we had going on. I wanted to make some cuts. And when we finally took possession of it, there were items that were left in there that we were anticipating would be removed. They were not. And so we're going to reuse some of the things that were left to kind of cut back on cost. So that's what's reflecting of what you see here. So we will be reusing the equipment that we have at this location, but because of its obviously larger size and the brick walls, they're going to need to include more Wi-Fi access points. And so there's 2 listed here. We're going to have a total of 9 cameras on this building on every exit point inside of our intake room where we handle appointments. And then the garage access and those types of places, and one of the exterior of the back of the camera, back of the building.
Most of them have an outdoor camera.
Yes. Yep. And so we own 5 cameras already. So we will be purchasing 4. And so then that will cover all of our aspects on that, which is the top portion of it. Then what we have below is the labor of moving the equipment from this location to our new location is what he has listed on the first. And then the second one would be pulling new wire. So pulling wire for the access points, pulling wire for the cameras. And then we're also going to have we're going to have a telephone, like a speaker box intercom that's going to be placed on the back door for the handicap accessibility. And then we're going to have one in the waiting room, in the lobby, where they'll be able to push a button and then that will ring all of our phones. And then we'll be able to answer the door accordingly. So that will take care of the accessibility of the building aspect. It also keeps us up with securing the building. So that is the estimated labor there. And so that's the total. So I'm sorry, Kemper Technologies for a total of $7,484 even.
And this isn't ours, is it?
The television?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So will we be using one that's already there or?
Yeah, I think there's one already there.
There are 2 televisions. There's one in the conference room and then there's one on 17 side. And no,
Okay.
all that was left. So
Okay.
yes, and ideally, we have everything to be able to do what we're doing there. We have some old chairs for the waiting room that we're gonna get cleaned up and should be able to use those as guest chairs. We'll probably be using a folding table for a while until we know exactly what kind of space we have for our meeting room. So
Well, they left that big table there, didn't
Big one that was in the,
they?
that's the conference room. So that's not where we're gonna have our public meetings at.
it was gonna be in that main front room.
Oh, we're not gonna have public meetings there?
We were gonna have it on the 17 side. Yeah, because everybody going through our offices.
Oh, no, so ours is gonna be on the east side then. Okay.
Yep.
Conference room,
Yes, right off the road.
okay, 17, that's 17.
Yes, sir.
If at any point you're down in Bloomington, you might pop into their surplus store down there. They've got a whole, Indiana University, whenever they
Oh.
renovate, They take all of their renovated furniture and they put it in their surplus store for super, super cheap. So they have computers, shelves, desks, chairs, tables, all sorts of stuff. A lot of them are really nice. So, and it's usually very cheap. So if we can't find anything locally, that might be an option in terms. They're about an hour and 20 minutes away, but
Yeah,
I got a brand new leather chair from there for $20 because the screw came out on the desk piece that attached to the chair. Instead of fixing it, the Kelly School just sent it to the surplus store. So
must be nice.
yeah.
There you go.
So
All right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My big thing is I want us to get in.
Yep.
Figure out what works, what doesn't work, and then, we have, 2 rooms full of cubicles right now. So, we'll figure out, what we need, and what we don't need later. So,
Okay. All right. So what's this? We only have one bid. Still need a motion to accept this, Kemper Technology Company.
so I would move to accept the bid from Kemper.
I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
the last thing I have, is an update from, our current internet provider is 9 Star. 9 Star does not have access to this building, or they do. Isn't that weird? Do you have 9 Star?
That is me.
So 9 Star, said that they don't have access and that they will need to charge us to run a line to us. And then moving, even though we've been very good customers of theirs for many years, that was going to be an additional $1,500 to run it. So I'm going to play hardball because currently we have Xfinity, is the provider there. Kemper says that they have worked with them, so it's not going to be a big deal, but I don't know how it will go. I know all of our phones are through 9 Star. And so, yeah, there could be, if we do not stay with 9 Star, but I would hope we can come to a middle ground.
We on contract for a period here, or,
We are.
how long? What they usually will do on that front is give you a buyout of some sort. But it may not be acceptable. So.
I want to say we have a year left.
Well,
the end of
it's
this
only
year. No, I bet we have a year left because I signed it my first year. I think it was a 3-year.
Is the city not on 9 Star?
I thought it was. My rep is not the rep of the city, so I think it's in the alleyway, and that's where they're saying they got to pull the line from. But I think it's in the alley,
That makes sense to me.
and so they just got to pull the line to there. And I don't understand why they don't write that off. When they know that they're going to have the service forever. So
Well,
Maybe that's why they had an Xfinity then.
well,
they also have that, there's, when you have 9 Star, there's also capital improvement funds that once you leave 9 Star, you.
Oh, your
get
capital
extra
credits?
Capital improvement
Yeah,
credits.
Credits. Yeah, anybody who is, it's a cooperative, so therefore you have to become a member of the cooperative, and you are entitled then to dividends or patronage or whatever you want to call it.
And we've been with it how many years now?
as long as we've been here at this firehouse, at least. So
Yeah. And it all depends on the amount of service, dollars you use. That's how they figure out how much. So there may be some capital credit there, but getting that out of them is a whole nother story. So I can't even get it out of them when people die.
Well, we could use that with, as a point that we want our capital credits. Or, you just include that, take away that $200
okay.
and run that in.
Who's your rep? Who are you talking about?
Tina, March.
I mean, that's no problem with negotiating.
When you talk to them, you want to make sure you let them know that, that the folks across the street happen to have same service, and, perhaps that might be something they need to consider.
As in your firm or
My office and the county also has, I know the county has 9 stars.
that's what I was thinking too.
I know that for a fact, because when things go out, the county goes out, we go out. So. Yeah,
Okay.
they need to just let it can't be that far away. It cannot be that far away.
That's what I thought. It simply cannot.
So,
Well, I guess keep us posted on that one.
yep, we'll do that. So with the appropriations that we have, we are from the additional appropriation that we brought in, from the last meeting, this is now spent up. So anything going forward, we will have to, reallocate money later for. So,
Okay. And like I say, we're gonna be under that 300,000
yes, yes, we're
Unless
still,
they
we're
find-
still under the 300,000.
unless they find something that
Well,
they don't know.
If
We're
it's,
at-
unless it's something, to be honest with you, unless it's something that is, of immediate absolute concern, then it's probably something that you might want to consider even putting off so you can budget for it and pay for it next year.
Yeah.
If you find that you would really like to, remodel this particular room, I guess I would encourage you to go, well, do we have to do it right now or can we do it next year? And then it wouldn't be part of this renovation project.
Yeah,
And
how about that stuff on the stucco? We wouldn't have to do that right away.
Well, it's not going to be budgeted. But I will also tell you, of all the friends I've made, while the back of the alleyway is considered not historic, the board of downtown wants to say in what we do back there. So,
Oh, I'll say.
so I will say that hometown is an exterior that I talked to them already about the arches in the front.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so they were like, oh yeah, we've got products for that. And I said, okay, great. So when I went downtown to talk to them about, we were redoing the arches and they were like, oh, that will make it look really great. Cool. All right, we're making progress here. So they're going to give us samples of that. So when we plan for next year's budget for those types of fixes, they're already included. When I talked to them about the back of the building, they're like, please don't ask us for a quote on stucco. We don't want to do it. They suggested if they could do another type of product. I assume that that's going to have to go in front of them and talk to them about if they would accept that other whatever product that they were talking about putting up instead of stucco. The problem is the new stucco, obviously the garage is a new stucco. It is fiber board that's been cracked and that's, but on the building, it's chicken wire. And so that has a whole new, to pull that off, redo it or whatever, it's going to be a mess. The garage, that's not as big of a deal. That's cutting it out, redoing it, texturing it, painting it, calling it a day.
And in the back, in terms of offering them a say, is they are requesting it, but we are not required to give it. Is that
Required.
okay?
do you want to do front?
I would like to do front.
That would be my only commentary here is if you're difficult with them, they will be difficult with you.
Well, I would think that they would, I would think they would make us do the front anyhow.
I think at some point that is true, although let's be very honest, look directly across the street from that building and you tell me that they can get on to anybody about the building not being in good shape. I mean, you can see into the basement of that building across the way.
Okay.
So, but what you're going to run into, I think, maybe not, but what you may run into is that they're going to want it to be, the arches to be wooden like they were instead of vinyl, like it would make sense. And that's where if you can convince them to let you go with more modern, that's not going to rot away.
I think I made progress on that because I did talk to them already about the type of product that they were suggesting, which is a composite. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they were like, oh yeah, we understand. As long as it looks
I
like,
mean, if it looks the same.
right.
What do you think?
And then I know. And they said that the paint, that was another thing. I said, I'd like to go back in there and paint the front. The wood, it needs to get painted, you know, in minor fixes. I said, do I need to go in front of you guys to get approval to paint? No. And I have that in an email too.
As long as you don't change the color.
As long as I don't change
It's
the
gotta be
color.
green, right?
Whatever color is there, you got.
Not just green. It's gotta be,
That green.
Well, I'm too colorblind. to-
I found the original can and I had to take this up to Westfield to go get it matched. Because that was the only place that had it's like one of the only porters left, and this girl was very well known for color matching. So I have to go back up there and go catch it. But I mean, I brought it down here to Sherwin-Williams to try to get it matched. It didn't match at all. They tried a lot of different products. It did not match. So when I took it back to them, no, that's different. So it's fine. You know, if we can keep up with this, you know, it's our good, I'm hoping. So you'll see me in the middle of the night painting. Yeah.
Well, again, once we get in, I think we're probably, as long as we're reasonable, if they're reasonable, you know,
Once the initial's already started, you know, it's happening now. So once that's over, then
Yeah.
there'll be other things. But yeah, I think they'll have more success. Downtown, any kind of improvement to downtown ends up being a positive ultimately.
yeah,
Because like I said, look across the street and not just across the street, but other places. Now we have a hole in a building down there because a car went through it, you know? So,
and they're tearing down that garage in the back, or that building in the back of,
Yeah.
Sarah, and making that parking lot out of it.
eventually, yes. So there's lots of stuff that's going on, but I think as long as the building's not falling in the front, you're good to go. Put that off till you can afford to do it and are ready to do it. You need to get your office moved first and get business started.
I think we'll be all right.
Yep.
So
Taking a vacant building that's been sitting vacant for 2 years, that'll have life again and function again, so.
So currently, what's in the fires, we're gonna get started with moving on that. I also have, as of next week, we are gonna have, our sign inside of for the frontage. We have to put signs on the building. I have to get a permit for that, and I actually have to get 2 permits for that. And so those are gonna go and get submitted next week.
Is that the ones you sent out?
Yes, I sent them all out for you guys to prove and for approval.
Okay,
Their sign meeting is the exact same time, actually it's at 5 o'clock as our next meeting.
Of course. Yes.
So I'm gonna have a staff member go to that meeting
oh, okay,
and with some information about the requirements from state statute that says of all the things, if they don't like something on there. But that's gonna be the hanging sign that's on the bracket already, and then also the window decals. So I'm gonna make sure that we're underneath the 40% on each window and make sure that all that accounts for it. So, and then we'll move forward with that. At the next meeting, I'll present you with a couple bids for moving expenses. And so what company we decide to go to with moving. And then hopefully we've got an idea about 9 Star, because we will not be able to, unless I can get approval for 9 Star now, because we won't be able to move in until we have internet, and if we don't have that, so.
You have to do what you're gonna have to do, I guess, to see what happens.
Okay.
Did they leave those cubicles and stuff there?
Yes,
What are we gonna do? Haul a big dumpster in there and
so,
dump it in there? What?
no, so all the cubicles are dismantled and they're put into 2 offices. I've got them all labeled. Those are still usable. So I'm not gonna trash them.
Okay,
I won't be using them, but I don't feel that, I think there's still value in them, so I don't want to trash them.
all right.
There is a dumpster that will be delivered. Hesitant saying that out loud. And there is trash that we need to get cleared out of there, especially in the basement, for them to start their work, or they're gonna charge us to do that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go down there and clear out the basement, and then clear out in the garage, things like that, put the trash in there, and then the hallway that, so. I need approval for the dumpster. I do.
It's not gonna be on the street, right?
It is not, no, it's gonna be the back alley. Or,
You know, I can tell you, if you put it out on the street, yes, you definitely have to have one. I don't know that you would.
I did. In the back.
Do we need to allocate money for that?
I'm sure you can find something somewhere. can't you?
Yes,
So do you have, are you putting a sign on the back door too?
yes,
Did you talk to them about that?
yes.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, handicap access type sign that.
It's just gonna be the normal sign that we have right out there. What I've already got grief about is, do you really need your name on the front of the building? Well, technically, according to the township assistance, book of, from State Board of Accounts, it says it needs to have the trustee's name on it. So
Oh, really?
it does, yeah. And so that's what I'm going to have, I've shown them and they're like, oh, okay. So, I mean, very bottom, it does say, with local
You better
approval.
win to make us, give it a money's worth.
Yeah. So, that's what we're gonna do in the back, and it's just gonna be on the vestibule, like small vestibule window. And then, next year, marking the ground and things like that, we want to account, but
Have someone from staff do all the before pictures, so in like a year and a half, 2 years, when everything's all done, we can do a nice little before and after and
Yeah.
reflect on all the
chaos.
chaos of getting it done.
They did, made the whole downtown area, TIF area, didn't
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think-
They were talking about making here where you could carry your drinks around downtown.
they? Well, I think, I'm almost sure I read in the paper where they passed that to
Wouldn't shut.
make it a TIF area. I'm just wondering if that would affect us in any way.
Well, no, because we don't pay taxes.
Yeah. One of the things I told Thomas as soon as we closed was we needed to go ahead and let the assessor know that so that we could then become exempt because we're a governmental entity, we'll be exempt from the
Right.
tax.
Okay.
So that's been done. But there's still taxes, arrearage, we pay arrearage in Indiana. So we got allocated money on the closing statement for the taxes that are from the date of closing back. And then once that's forward, then there won't be any additional. There will be, just because of the way the system works, so be honest, but basically we won't have any tax once we cycle through.
What a cycle through, okay. All right. Okay, well,
Yeah, it went off the tax roll. That was one of the objections that was being made about that would take that off the tax rolls.
$3,000.
they had their way, make the whole damn county a TIF area.
So on that note, we have no visitors, so I would move to adjourn.
Second. Meeting adjourned.